Hi everyone, my name is Janz, and today I'm going to help you out with your effective interest schedules for your Simply Accounting case. Today we're going to look at how to design an effective interest schedule in Excel when the payments occur at the end of the month. So to do that, we're going to work on some calculations with our data first, and then we're going to set up our Excel in here. There'll be a couple things that I missed today, and I'll help you in class with the final touches so that you can create a great schedule and it's done properly. Let's begin. Here's our data. And what we can see here is that we're going to start with a present value of $400,000. Basically, we're borrowing $400,000. Our interest rate is 12% a year. We're going to have this for 4 years. So the first thing is that we have to calculate our schedule based on months. So you can see what we're dealing with 4 years. So our N, and I'm just going to show you here, is going to be 4 years times 12 months is 48. That's how I get my periods, my N. Now I got to make sure that everything is calculated based on the same method. So we're dealing with months, so my interest rate is based on years. So I then have to calculate my interest rate based on a monthly amount. Well, let's take that, 12%, divide it by 12 months, and 1% will be my interest rate per month. So you can see that in here, I'm multiplying it 12 to get my periods. Here, I'm taking my annual rate, dividing it by 12 to get my interest rate per month. Now, what's the purpose of the bank financing? Well, to pay it off over a 4-year period. So my future value will be 0. I want to pay it off over 4 years. Now, when you set everything up in Excel, Excel has some schedules that you can use that will do these calculations for you without the use of a calculator. And when you set these values up in Excel, and I'm going to help you out in class because I can show you in class easier, you're going to see at the end of the formula, you're going to be asked for the type. The type will basically say 0 for the end, basically is a payment at the end, or the payment at the beginning. So in this case, when you're setting this up in Excel, the payment occurs at the end of the month. It's going to be type 0. We're going to do another video where the payment actually occurs at the beginning. That'll be a type 1 when we set that up in Excel. Now, we've got one more calculation to do before we can do our Excel schedule. We need to calculate what our monthly payment is. We now have all the information right here to calculate that. So take your calculator out and do that with me. Now, those of you who have an idea of how to do this, go ahead and do it. Put this video on pause and try it, please, without seeing the answer. Calculate it, then come back and start the video again. All right, let me show you how to calculate this. First thing, we have to make sure our calculator is clear. We don't want to have BGN up there because that has set the payments at the beginning. We've got to make sure that that's not showing. We also want to make sure there's no data in here. So I like to click the send, basically to end, clear that, and then clear TVM. So hit that a few times. It's basically the yellow button, the second, and then the FV. So just clear everything there. So I'm going to set this up now and I'm going to enter this information. So 400,000 is what I'm entering, and then I'm going to hit PV. Then I'm going to hit 1 for my IY because that's my interest rate. I'm going to hit 48N because that's the number of periods. I'm going to go 0 future value. Then I'm going to hit compute payment. So CPT payment, PMT, and I'm going to get a value then 10,533.53. Now remember, I'm going to show you how to do this in Excel, so you don't even have to use a calculator, but it's a good idea to know how to do both. So let's start now with what your schedule should look like. Remember, do this first and follow along with this video. Practice, get good at it, and then you'll be able to do the one that's in your case very easily. Let's get started. So the month. In this example, we're going to start with June. And our opening balance, 400,000. That's what OB stands for. Now, we're not making the payment until the end, so 1 month worth of interest has gone by. So 1% times 400,000 is $4,000. Now the payment we calculated is $10,533.53. So we have an interest expense amount, a payment amount, this is cash. Well, what's the difference? The difference is our financing repayment. That is $6,533.53. Now remember, on your Excel schedule, go to 2 decimals. That means that at the beginning of the month, we owed $400,000. After this payment, we basically owe $400,000 minus that. Remember, this payment includes some interest charges. So we're going to have this amount minus that amount as our ending balance. That's what EB stands for. So that'll be $393,466.47. Now that balance, that ending balance for the end of June, becomes the starting balance for the beginning of July. So that would be $393,466.47. Now to calculate the interest expense here, it would be this amount times 1%. You'll still have the same payment. You'll have to calculate this minus that to get that, and carry on and so on and so on. And remember, at the end of 4 years, your future value should be 0. So when you create this in Excel, you'll have 48 periods. At the end, your balance should be 0. I hope this video helps everybody. See you in class.